Lily, a 25-year-old millionaire businesswoman, was about to experience the happiest moment of her life, her wedding. In the bride's room, she adjusted her veil and admired the stunning dress that molded perfectly to her body. Everything seemed like a dream. The chapel was decorated with delicate flowers and sparkling lights, creating a magical and romantic setting. At the signal from the wedding planner, Lily took a deep breath and began walking to the altar. Benjamin, her fiancé, looked at her with a loving smile. He was impeccable in his suit, and as they held hands, he leaned in to whisper, "You look beautiful, my love." The atmosphere of love was palpable, and the priest began the ceremony. Lily felt her heart beat with joy as she heard the words about love and union. When it was Benjamin's turn to say his vows, he looked deeply into her eyes and declared with emotion, "Lily, from the moment we met, I knew you were the person I wanted to share my life with. I promise to be your faithful companion and to love you forever." With tears in her eyes, Lily was ready to respond. She began to tell him how much she loved him, but suddenly, the chapel door opened with a bang. All eyes turned, and a humble-looking man in worn and dirty clothes hurried in. He walked quickly down the aisle toward the altar, panting and with an intense expression on his face. The man's voice echoed through the chapel, "Lily, you can't marry him." The young woman froze, still holding Benjamin's hands, as the murmur of surprise filled the room. Who was this man, and what did he have to reveal? Everyone waited in absolute suspense for the secret that the stranger carried. Lily watched in amazement as the humble-looking man stood in the center of the chapel, drawing all the attention to himself. She didn't understand how he knew her name, and the tension hung in the air, leaving the guests restless and full of anticipation. To understand what motivated this unexpected moment, we need to go back in time a little. Since she was a child, Lily has always been cheerful, intelligent and charismatic, attracting attention not only for her beauty, but also for carrying the prestige of the User family, famous throughout the country for its technological innovations. The only child of Roger and Katerina User, Lily was destined for a promising future, but her life changed drastically at the age of 6, when her parents died in a tragic car accident while returning from a charity event. This event shook the community and changed Lily's life forever. After the loss of her parents, Lily was raised by the family's housekeeper, a lady named Amelia, who, in addition to taking care of her daily needs, became her source of love and emotional support. Amelia played a key role in shaping Lily's generous and resilient character. On the business side, her father's best friend, Mario, took responsibility for the company and also for Lily's education, preparing her for the day she would take over. He became a father figure to Lily, offering her unwavering guidance and support. At the age of 18, Lily took over the leadership of the company with an innovative and determined vision. She quickly excelled in the business world, with Mario by her side as a mentor and advisor. However, shortly after, at the age of 20, Lily suffered another major loss when Amelia passed away, and 2 years later, Mario also passed away due to a heart attack. Despite facing the pain of losing everyone she loved, Lily maintained her spirit and continued her mission of helping those in need through the foundations and organizations she had created over the years. It was during one of these difficult days that Lily met Benjamin. On a sunny afternoon, she decided to take a walk in the park to clear her head after a long day of work, marked by the 18th anniversary of the loss of her parents. Although she always conveyed joy, that day, sadness was evident on her face. Immersed in memories, Lily tried to cope with the loneliness by remembering her parents and returning to a house that always seemed empty. This encounter with Benjamin brought new light to her life, and the love between them quickly blossomed. And now, as she stood before the altar, about to marry him, Lily could not imagine that the past would come back to haunt her with an unexpected and shocking revelation, appearing in the form of a strange man who had just interrupted her ceremony. Lily felt alone, even when surrounded by friends and colleagues. Although they were helpful, none of them could understand the depth of her pain, and she knew that no one could offer her the comfort she truly needed. Deep in thought, she bumped into Benjamin, a tall young man with an infectious smile. When he apologized, their eyes met, and she found herself captivated by him, who kindly invited her to get ice cream as a way of apologizing. Lily accepted, and they spent the rest of the afternoon talking in the park. The conversation flowed naturally, and Lily soon felt connected to Benjamin. He shared his story, revealing that he had lost his parents when he was a child and had grown up in an orphanage. With effort, he had earned a scholarship at 18 and now, as an engineer, he ran a small construction company. Impressed by Benjamin's resilience, Lily felt a deep empathy. Their shared pain and the success he had achieved, despite so many difficulties, touched her heart, and that meeting sparked a strong attraction. In the days that followed, Lily and Benjamin arranged more meetings, and the bond between them only grew stronger. Benjamin's presence seemed to fill the void she felt, and a year after their first meeting, he proposed to her in an unexpected and romantic way. With tears of joy, Lily accepted, feeling that she had finally found her soulmate and a new chance to have the family she so desired. However, Lily was unaware of the dark secret that Benjamin was hiding. The entire story of overcoming and resilience that he had told her was a carefully crafted lie. Benjamin had not lost his parents or grown up in an orphanage. His story was part of a cunning plan to win over the young millionairess and thus gain access to the user family fortune. Benjamin's sweetness, charm and apparent dedication were nothing more than a facade. Behind his engaging smile, there was an ambitious and manipulative man, determined to get rich without making any honest effort. From a young age, Benjamin faced family problems and, after being thrown out of the house by his father, he became involved in petty crimes and joined shady companies. Living in an abandoned house with friends of questionable conduct, he began to devise increasingly ambitious plans to escape poverty, never imagining that, one day, these plans would lead him to meet Lily and change his life, but not in an honest way. From a young age, Benjamin dreamed of a life of luxury and comfort without having to work hard. At the age of 18, he decided to adopt a new strategy. Instead of getting involved in petty crimes, he began to seduce older, more vulnerable women, using his charm to win over widows and wealthy women and then disappear with part of their fortunes. He specialized in these emotional scams, ensuring his financial security with false promises of love. At the age of 27, determined to pull off his biggest scam yet, Benjamin hatched a plan to steal a considerable amount of money that would sustain him for the rest of his life. It was then that Lily caught his attention. Lonely and with no close family, the young millionaire seemed the ideal victim for his meticulous plan. With calm and precision, Benjamin studied every detail of her routine, her friends, and her habits. The day he bumped into her in the park, everything was planned. He used his false story and a charismatic smile to gain Lily's trust, and the plan worked. Over the course of the year, Benjamin invested in creating a convincing relationship, based on lies and false promises of a future. He gained Lily's trust and affection, and she believed she had found true love. On the wedding day, as Lily prepared for what she believed would be the beginning of a new life, Benjamin only thought about the money he would soon have in his hands. He could barely contain his excitement as he imagined Lily's fortune guaranteeing his definitive escape. However, while he was getting ready for the big day, an unexpected phone call made him shudder. Carlos, an old accomplice and dangerous figure from his past, had found out about the marriage with the millionairess through an online publication. Years before, Carlos had helped Benjamin financially when they both lived in an abandoned house, and Benjamin had never paid what he owed. Carlos, in a threatening voice, recalled every penny and demanded an immediate meeting. With trembling hands and a racing heart, Benjamin listened to Carlos' threats. "Your fiancée is quite beautiful, huh? How did you get something like that?" Carlos scoffed, making it clear that if Benjamin didn't show up in 10 minutes, the consequences would be fatal. Fearing what might happen, Benjamin realized that his past had finally caught up with him, forcing him to face the debts and ghosts he had always tried to avoid. Without hesitation, Benjamin agreed to meet with Carlos, hoping to buy time by revealing his plan. He promised that as soon as he had access to Lily's money, he would pay off his debts. "Just a little more time, and I'll have the money to pay you back," he pleaded, trying to calm his former friend. But what Benjamin didn't expect was that someone unexpected would show up to thwart his plans. That same sunny morning, in another part of the city, Luke, a homeless young man, was starting his day. Luke's life had been full of hardships since childhood, growing up on the streets, without knowing his family or having any support. Now, at 26 years old, his daily struggle was to survive, looking for food and a place to sleep. Hungry and almost without strength, he walked the streets, determined to find something to eat. While passing by a restaurant, Luke saw an opportunity to get something to ease his hunger and approached a table. It was at that moment that, by chance, he overheard the conversation between Benjamin and Carlos. "Do you want more time?" Carlos shouted furiously. "I gave you 9 years to pay me back, and now you ask me for 1 more week. Enough of this." Benjamin, trembling, begged. "As soon as Lily and I get married, she'll give me the money. I just need 1 more week, please," he begged. Carlos reluctantly gave in temporarily, but warned that if he didn't get his payment, Benjamin would be in serious trouble. Before Luke could walk away, he saw Benjamin rush out, get into a luxury sports car, which belonged to Lily, and head toward the chapel where the wedding was about to take place. With a surge of justice and courage, even though he was exhausted, Luke decided he had to stop the scam from going through. He ran through the streets, determined to unmask Benjamin before it was too late. Even though he was weak and his body was crying out for rest, Luke forced himself to keep going. Every step was a battle, but he wouldn't give up until he revealed the truth. Meanwhile, in the chapel, Lily was beaming, adjusting the final details of her dream wedding. She had chosen this special place, the same chapel where her parents had married, and she felt surrounded by the cherished memories of her family. When she finally reached the altar, with a wide smile and tears of joy, Lily looked at Benjamin, full of hope for the future. Every word he said in his vows felt like a confirmation of true love. But with Luke approaching quickly and determined to expose Benjamin, the couple's fate was about to change drastically. The happiness seemed complete until Luke appeared in the chapel, interrupting the ceremony. "Stop the wedding. Lily, you can't marry him," he shouted, leaving everyone present in shock. Lily felt a chill run down her spine and, after a moment of paralysis, she managed to react. "Who are you? And how do you know my name?" she asked, holding her fiancé's hand, who seemed equally perplexed. Without wasting a second, Luke revealed everything he had discovered, begging Lily to believe him. He knew her from charity events where she distributed food and clothes to homeless people. Seeing her at that moment, so beautiful in her wedding dress, Luke knew she was a kind person and did not deserve to be deceived. Lily looked at Benjamin, then at Luke, visibly shaken. I don't know what to think," she murmured, shaking with emotion and uncertainty. Enraged at having been exposed, Benjamin attacked Luke with insults and tried to throw him out of the chapel. Lily's friends and colleagues quickly called the authorities, who confirmed that Benjamin was wanted for several similar scams. A devastated Lily realized that Luke had saved her from becoming the next victim. Moved by Luke's courage, Lily decided to reward him for his bravery. Weeks later, the millionaire businesswoman offered him a position as her personal assistant and invested in his education. Luke dedicated himself to his studies and, over time, graduated in business administration. Their daily life strengthened the bond between them, and after 3 years of friendship and companionship, the feeling grew into something deeper. The following year, they returned to the same chapel, this time to seal a true commitment full of love. Lily and Luke's story became an example that honesty and courage can lead to surprising places. If you liked this story, don't miss the next video that will move you. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like it and activate the notification bell to stay up to date with our next inspiring stories. Until next time.